Hello guys, so in this video we will be reacting to Naval Ravikant's intellectual curiosity and three-step life framework. So let's see what's there in this video and evaluate it. Let's begin the video. Let's do this.
This is a perfect place to close because it's relevant to us all, and it's the sort of framework that produces ideas like blockchains in the first place. I urge you to use Naval's framework as a means to evaluate your career, what you are good at, and what brings you joy.
I have a very young child. I expect that my child will not get a university degree, or at least not in the classic sense of having to go spend 4 years at a university and get a stamp. I expect that he won't have a concept of a single career. I expect that he probably won't have a normal job. He'll be paid much more for his output. Because in knowledge work, which is what most work is these days, in knowledge work, if you do a great job versus a good job versus an okay job, the difference to your employer in terms of what it's worth is 0x, 10x, 100x. We're used to tracking 9 to 5 because if someone's cutting down wood, you watch them cut out of the wood, they work for 8 hours, give or take, they've cut down roughly the same amount of wood. However, if they're sitting in front of a computer and they're writing code or they're preparing a presentation or they're coming up with a new product or brand strategy, they're writing an advertising campaign. If they write the right ad slogan, you might have $100 million product in your hand. They write the wrong ad slogan, you may have a $10 product in your hands, or you might have a money losing product in your hands. So
It's like your net worth depends upon how good are you at your work.
more and more work is going creative. And as it goes creative, you can't track the inputs, you have to track the outputs. Almost everybody these days who makes a lot of money doing something, they're essentially doing some kind of creative work that society does not yet know how to train people to do or how to replicate.
Hmm. क्रिएटिव वर्क वही हो गया जैसे कि मेरे दिमाग में कोई थॉट आता है, मैं जब उसको एग्जीक्यूट करता हूँ तो जो मेरा आउटपुट निकलता है वो इतना बेहतरीन होता है कि लोग मुझे उसका पैसा देते हैं. और क्रिएटिविटी इज समथिंग दैट पीपल डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, पीपल yet not able to decode the creativity. And it's true that people don't know how to teach creativity. Creativity is something which is inherent or which can't be learned, I think so. It's like it's by birth, it's innate to you.
Creative work by its nature is easily leveraged, so it's a force multiplied,
Hmm.
and it's something that's very hard to train people how to do. If I
Hmm.
can train you how to do something, I don't have to pay you a lot because I can just replace you
Yeah.
anytime I want. On the other hand, if you're a genius at something, you're doing something that I don't even know how the heck you do it, but you're creating new things.
Hmm. You won't be replaced for the job that you are doing, which is creative in nature. You will always be replaced in a job which is very mechanical or which can be taught and given training to people about the job.
I have to pay you what you're worth.
So, can you touch on that idea and kind of why you think, if you do think, curiosity should govern a lot of what people do versus, say, trying to fit within some widget system?
I am in the blockchains and cryptocurrencies because they're intellectually fascinating to me. I mean, yeah, maybe you might make some money along the way, but that's not my primary driver. Actually, given how early I got into blockchains, I didn't buy that many coins because it's not the token part that's interesting to me. It's far more interesting to me to think about the repercussions and to understand the technology and to follow the code essentially down the rabbit hole. I think I got into it because of intellectual curiosity. And so the nice thing about that is one, that's its own reward. Even if I don't make any money, it's its own reward. Second, that means I got into it before it was hot, before everybody was getting into it,
Mm.
right? The returns are gone by the time everybody else gets into it. And these days, the markets move very, very quickly. If you can figure out something that society will want before society itself and mass figures it out, that's when you get paid. And your only chance of doing that is if you're intellectually curious. And intellectual curiosity is different
Mm.
for everybody. So I cannot prescribe it to anybody. I can't say get into drones or get into VR.
Yeah, like curiosity can't be taught. Like it should be from within you. Like you should be hungry for information from within. Like nobody can teach you how to be curious about something. You have to discover it by yourself. And I think not intellectual curiosity, just curiosity also. Curiosity also can take you to a better place, to better places. I think, yeah, curiosity is missing in today's generation or in today's children's or, yeah, adults.
Because I don't know what's going to be hot and what's not. And the moment I can tell you it's hot and I can make you the convincing argument that it's hot, then at the
Mm.
same time, millions of other people are convinced that it's hot. And by the time you get there, it's going to be too crowded.
Yeah,
So
true.
the only way to really succeed at an extreme level, if you care about that, and to enjoy yourself along the way, is to
Hmm.
just go
If you're not enjoying the process, then you will not be able to do that thing in long term. And if you will not be able to do it in the long term, then you will not get success. That's also necessary to understand. That first of all, like you have to check whether I am enjoying the process or not. And if your answer is yes, then go ahead and then do that particular thing with patience for a long time. You have to do it for a long time to be successful in it, to be eternally successful in it. I'm trying to say that success is also a short-term deal too. Like so many one-hit wonders are there in the market, but they will be forgotten in coming 10 or 15 years. But if you're working for 10 or 15 years, just keep on working towards a particular thing, then your success will also be long lasting.
deep into something. And the
Mm,
nice thing about the technology industry, and by technology I mean the broad tech industry, I include biology, technology, healthcare technology, all kinds
mm,
of things, is if you get obsessive about something that you are convinced is the future and you're just into it for its own reward and merit,
mm.
first you're going to outwork everybody else at it because you'll be reading about it for fun.
Like if you're enjoying the process, then you will be able to do more work than any other people who are just doing it for the paycheck.
When everybody else is just doing it for work. And then second, you'll stick with it long enough for it to materialize
Yeah.
when everybody else will give up.
Patience also come with interest. Like if you're interested in something, you are automatically be patient in that particular thing. And if you're not interested in it, then you will not be able to be patient that long.
And third, when people show up, you'll just be the expert just because you have thought about it at a different level. And then
Hmm.
you'll get paid. Now, it's obviously risky, so you don't do this purely for career reasons. But I've at least found that on a long term basis that following my own intellectual curiosity has
Hmm.
paid me better than trying to do what I thought would make me money.
Yeah,
I think
just follow your curiosity.
most of life these days, because now we operate in a world where there's 7 billion people and we have access to almost all of them. And we have access to all these countries and all these markets and all these societies and all these nation states. We're no longer living in tribes of 150 people with very limited opportunity. Because we have access to everything, I would say that there's no point in trying to imitate anybody else. There's no point
Hmm.
in trying to pick up skills from somebody else. What you really want to do is just figure out what you are uniquely the best in the world at because you just love it, and then just find out who or
Hmm.
what needs that the most. And by the way, I think that even applies in dating and marriage and relationships and working and colleagues. It applies in many aspects of life. Rather than trying to change ourselves to fit into the mold of wherever we happen to be, we should be more open to exploring and finding the place where we fit in perfectly and they're missing us. So I grew up in a pretty poor household. I wanted to make money. It was really important to me, probably too important. There was a time when I said to a friend of mine, I said, I would sell sewage or apple cores to make money. And
Hmm.
luckily it didn't turn out that way because that would have been miserable. And I realized I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have stuck with it. But maybe because there's someone out there who loves apples,
Hmm.
right? And that person would have built the best apple farms and have obsessed over apples and they would have easily outcompeted me because
Yeah,
I
true.
would have
If
just done
you're
it for the money. It would have been a terrible.
if you're obsessed with something, you will end up doing that particular thing. And if you're not, if you are just doing it for the validation or external motives, then you will not be able to continue it for the long time, and then you will see there is no result, and then you will eventually give up.
Existence the entire way from me. So I was obsessed with just making sure that I got to make some money because I just had zero. So
Hmm.
I did get very analytical about the whole thing. And I had a framework back when I was like 15 years old. And I haven't really revisited the framework, so I'm sure it's terrible now. But the three things that I came up with was I said to make money, you need specific knowledge, you need leverage,
Hmm.
and you need accountability. And what I mean by those three is, let me start with the simpler ones. Leverage is just you need a
Hmm.
force multiplier. Like Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth. And leverage means that when I'm sleeping, there are 100 people working for me. When I'm sleeping, there's 1,000 servers and data centers working for me. When
Hmm.
I'm sleeping, there's $10 million worth of capital being deployed that's going into investments working.
Leverage is when you are passively benefited, when you are not doing anything but you are benefiting out of the work that other people are doing for you. So you have to build that leverage, that a leverage doesn't come as it is. You have to build that leverage. And then at a certain point, you can say that, yes, this is my leverage. Now I can stay at home. Now I can sleep in afternoon and people will take care of my business.
For me. Those are examples of leverage. The reason why computing and books make so many people rich is because they're forms of leverage that are
Hmm.
permissionless. Going back to the idea of permission.
Because they once published book, now they don't have anything to do with other things. Like they just have to sit, and if their book is good, then it will keep on selling in different parts of the world, and the writer will earn money.
Networks versus not. I can write a piece of code, release to the internet. If it's a useful piece of code, I can make a lot of money off of it because it's leverage. The code is working for me while I'm not. So
Hmm.
to make money, you need leverage. No one gets rich running out their own time. The
Yeah, right. Like if you're trying to get rich by doing job or by working under someone, then you will not be able to get rich. You will not be able to get rich by spending your own time for your life, for your whole life. Like you won't get rich. If you have to get rich, then you have to understand the importance of passive income. Like if you have read the book called Rich Dad and Poor Dad, a very famous book. So in that book also they have the writer Robert Kiyosaki has told this concept that passive income, active income, and asset and liabilities. That asset are something that which gives you money, which adds money to your pocket, and liability is something which keeps on subtracting money from your pocket. So for instance, like if you buy a car, then you have to take care of that car for years. You have to spend money on its maintenance, on its like daily nitty-gritty problems. Like that car will take money from you after that, after buying too. But if you buy a property, then it will give you the money. It will generate passive income for you. So that passive income is very necessary to get rich.
second piece you need is accountability. You need accountability because if you're not willing to put your name on it, if people can't identify that you did it, they're not going to pay you for it. So the more faceless, the more widget-like, the more of a large team you're disappearing into,
Hmm.
the less credit you get. And without the credit, you're not going to get paid. That said, the credit comes with risk. Accountability is not free. You're sticking your neck out there. It's why sales guys often or sales gals make more than engineers because they're sticking their necks out there. Some days they don't eat, some days they eat well. And then the last piece is actually the hardest, which is specific knowledge. Specific
Hmm.
knowledge is this knowledge that you have that lets you do something that other people do not know how to do and cannot be trained to do. If I can train you how to do something, give you a certificate, now you're suddenly replaceable. And I'm never going to have to pay you more than that exact job is worth. And that job is always competitive. And I'm always training other people to do it. So you're never going to get rich off of it. So then I was stuck with a problem at a young age. I was like, okay, leverage, I got to go into computers and tech, which I loved anyway. So that was easy because that's a free form of leverage. Accountability means take risks, take
Hmm.
responsibility, stick your neck out there, do things, promise things to people that they don't think are doable, and then deliver them. That I can do.
Specific knowledge, that means one thing that you are good at, so you have to identify that thing. Second thing is leverage, that you have to look for leverage, that what are the things that is leverage for me. Third thing is accountability, that is owning your own shit, like owning your mistakes, owning your success, owning everything, accepting everything, like not complaining about things, not saying that this is the responsibility of some other person and I am not responsible for this. No, it's not accountability, it's an excuse. So you have to be first of all accountable for your actions. You have to take risk. So that's the three-step framework of Naval Ravikant.
But the last piece was the hardest, specific knowledge. What knowledge do I specifically have that nobody else does? And
Hmm.
the only way to build specific knowledge is you just have to
Have to
love
love
something.
something.
And if you love doing something, you're going to put in
Yeah,
the hours. And it took me decades to figure out what my specific knowledge
then it becomes automatic. Like if you love something, then you will spend hours doing that particular thing and you will not feel like doing that particular thing, or you will not feel effortful while doing it.
knowledge was. But it turns out, looking back in time, I now
Hmm.
realize what my specific knowledge was. I didn't even know it at the time, but I was obsessed with a couple of things as a kid. I love to read, and I love to read
Hmm.
all kinds of stuff, including junk. But when I got into a topic, I would just dive down and read into it. So that helps me come to speed on new technologies and new spaces very, very fast. I
Hmm.
played a lot of war games as a kid, which makes me actually pretty good at kind of broad strategy. And I used to play a lot of role playing games. So I used to talk, which are just talk, by the way. I used to get together with other kids, just talk, 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 talk. So I'm a good talker, right? So the combination of being good at reading, good at talking,
Hmm.
and good at strategy actually, and liking computers puts me into the tech strategy business. And that's kind of where
Hmm.
I've meandered my way to. And now I found even within that, the pieces of it that I like to do and I'm good at. Turns out I'm not good at managing people. I tried to do that for a long time because I thought it was a form of leverage. I thought I could learn it, I'd be trained to do it. Turns out I'm terrible at it because I never liked it in the first place. I'm not a people person. I don't like to
Hmm.
hang around lots of people. So you kind of have to know your strengths and your weaknesses and
Hmm.
double down, double down, double down on your strengths, and then
Strengths.
find the career in which those strengths really matter. And there's always one out there for you.
One of my favorite. This is a perfect place.
Okay, so one way looking at specific knowledge or discovering the path by which you will discover specific knowledge is not by thinking about it. It's not thinking about past or going to past and searching for that particular thing. No, you will have to do things. You have to run experiments. Then you will find what am I interested in or what am I naturally inclined at. You have to do particular things. First of all, you will be doing absolutely shit. You will do things that you don't even like, but you have to do that particular things to know that okay, these are the things that I don't like. Then only you will come to know that what are the things that you like. First of all, you have to eliminate, discard all the things that you don't like, and the way in which you will do that, it's actually by doing it, doing the boring stuff, and then finding out what you're interested in. And once you found out that okay, this is the topic that I'm interested in, you will spend hours and hours learning about that, and that will eventually become your specific knowledge, and then you can build leverage around that, and then take accountability, take risk, and grow in that particular field. So this was the Naval Ravikant's video, and I actually like the video. Like, one thing about Naval Ravikant is that he's so precise in his speech that I just love it. Like, I think because of his Twitter, like, he got practice of the writing such precise lines and sentences with two or three lines, and he explains stuff. Like, he don't need many words to explain a particular thing. Like, just like me, not alike me, that I'm a type of guy who will take lots of words, lots of sentences into account when saying something. But Naval Vikant is like God level articulation. Like, his articulation is best. So thank you for watching. This was the video, and if you like the video, then please do like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll continue to bring this kind of videos. And thank you.